The Street Design Index tool takes features from an urban environment, such as walls, graffiti, windows and streetlights, and builds a map of perception of safety along a route or across a neighbourhood. This is done by weighting each of these type of features according to whether it contributes to perceptions of fear or safety. These weightings are based on the views of local residents and professionals. Our tool works out which urban features can be seen from a particular point. It then uses these weightings to create a street design index for that point. This process is repeated for all points along a route or across an area. The end result is a map showing routes and areas where people feel safe or unsafe, and this map can be used to provide information about safer walking routes, identify areas where changes to the urban environment can improve safety and contribute to and towards the planning of new urban environments.
If I was coming out of the underground to get to the bus, I'd have to walk back down the street to cross the street and then walk back up to get a bus. When it must be much easier to just put a zebra crossing between the exit of the underground than needs to be a bus, especially if you've got like suitcases and a pram or whatever. It's very inconvenient. It's always just prioritizing cars.
Here at the Centre for Transport Studies, University College London, are currently developing Amelia. Amelia is a software tool that will enable planners to test policy actions to increase accessibility and show which is most effective. Amelia is a user-friendly, policy-oriented interface to a GIS. It is partially based on existing accessibility models and measures accessibility by specifying the population group, modes of travel, and trip purpose. The tool can then establish how many people meet accessibility benchmarks with and without policy interventions. The benchmarks, which have been defined using focus groups and surveys, specify the amounts of time or money that is regarded as reasonable for reaching a particular type of opportunity. Amelia reports the results as a map showing the accessible area, routes, and the destinations that are accessible by a chosen mode. In determining this, the tool considers physical obstructions of access. For example, in walking as a mode, the tool takes into consideration obstructions such as width of footpaths, lack of crossings, drop curves, and gradients of drop curves. In addition, the tool also takes into consideration the physical abilities of people. The tool also includes a set of policy actions that could potentially improve accessibility and thereby social inclusion. The users could then test if a policy action chosen improves accessibility or not, and which policy is effective.
In principle, the entry points to urban transport should be welcoming and attractive gateways, accessible to everybody. In reality, many are not. So where opportunities arise to upgrade and rebuild, we must get it right. For example, here at Highbury Corner in North London. In the final phase of Aunt Sue, a project called Visit, Visualising Safe and Inclusive Transport Environments, will address this challenge. Our case studies will be live projects, initially station upgrades on Docklands Light Railway. Here we're combining our techniques to visualise before and after scenarios in 2 and 3 dimensions. Visit is helping us and our project partners to understand the bigger picture, and in particular how designs affect the users. People of different ages, abilities, and different levels of confidence. Likewise, the smaller picture, to ensure that new facilities like ticket machines and lifts don't design out the very people who should benefit most from transport investment.
The Aunt Sue project has provided us with a wealth of information about why people are excluded from travel. This knowledge is being brought together to inform the design of a journey planner. The aim of this inclusive public transport journey planner is to demonstrate that providing people with the right level of information in a well-designed interface can enable everyone to find the best route for them and make a confident choice about whether or not they can travel.
With funding from the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council under their Sustainable Urban Environment Programme, the SUE in Aunt Sue, we have been testing different techniques and approaches to improved accessibility with our partners in Hertfordshire County Council, the London Borough of Camden, with the support of Transport for London and others. We are also working on new case study areas in Finsbury Park, Greenwich, and in King's Cross, where station improvements as well as new housing and regeneration are taking place. In order to test our approach more widely, we are also demonstrating our accessibility planning and design work with other authority areas. In fact, our ANSU network spans all over the UK and even reaches as far as Europe and other countries such as South Africa.
Well, it's been really useful for Hertfordshire to be part of the ANSU project, because I think we've got an insight into a whole range of areas about accessibility that we didn't really know much about before, and we've got a lot of objective data from that. And it's opened up a whole new area of things we didn't really thought about accessibility. And I think that's benefited from the fact that it's very much a multidisciplinary approach, a number of different universities involved in the process, and it's come up from a different angle. So that's been great for us. There's a lot of resources already. The website is a great resource for information and what's going on there, and the research background to it. So we're learning a lot from that already. And now we're seeing the models being developed and the various tools that we can use. And to some extent we're using those tools already in our St Albans testbed, and we have to roll those out further. So we can see real outputs coming from the ANSU project that we can use in Hertfordshire, and indeed other authorities across the country could use to benefit and to look at accessibility in a more sort of objective way than we've ever done before. And I think that's important in terms of trying to get funding and priority for accessibility, because if we can demonstrate that we can get real benefits from these processes in terms of money and benefits to people, we can actually prioritise accessibility schemes against all the other things such as maintenance and safety that we do. So I think that's very important for us, and something we haven't had to do in the past, and something that's a real benefit from the ANSU project.